I just got invited to a Halloween party, and I haven't been invited to a party in decades. I rarely ever get invited to parties. I don't actually know what to do when because it's just not a part of my life. I've never really been that much of a social person. Anyway, the party I'm going to attend, it's a Halloween fancy dress party. It's with a young man who I met at this political party group meetup, who actually and we share a lot of the same political opinions. So I'm thinking I'll go with something quite interesting. Obviously, since it's a Halloween party, I'm gonna go with something really scary. Something that would shock you if you saw it in public. And I thought, what could be more scary than a foreign rapist? So I'm going as Hadush Kabatu. I've got some brown and black face paint. I got a bald cap to go over my head and a hairnet as well. I walked into a McDonald's in Newport and asked for some hairnets to help with that, and I ordered this grey tracksuit from ASOS. I mistakenly thought I was getting tracksuit bottoms with it, so that I could look like Hadush in that, in that widely circulated footage of him wandering around London because they just kicked him out of prison early, and he was wandering around, like in a Sacha Baron Cohen film, asking random people if they can help him get to the deportation center. So anyway, I'm a very solitary and private person by nature. I don't really spend a lot of time in social situations, and I'm not very good in social situations. I do the best I can. I can take part in conversations here or there, and do the bare minimum of what needs to be done. But it doesn't come naturally to me. I really have to work at it. And it's another thing, it's exhausting, being around people and taking an active interest in them and maintaining a conversation. It doesn't come naturally to me. However, at the same time, I don't really get out much. I don't really keep in touch with my friends. To be honest, I don't really have a lot of friends. And I've become increasingly withdrawn the older I've gotten. So when somebody throws me a lifeline, somebody invites me to a party, and I forgot to mention this earlier, it's not just a Halloween fancy dress party, it's also an engagement party. The guy's he's done pretty well for himself. Not only is he engaged to be married, but I think he's also now a homeowner, which is pretty remarkable. If you're a young man in your late 20s, which is what he is, and you're not only engaged, but you're also a homeowner, you're basically doing far better than 70 or 80% of all people in your age bracket. So obviously, I felt I owed it to him to show up to this party, the most outrageous thing I could possibly think of, and to give him a big, warm, hearty congratulations. Because I know that I come off as quite embittered and resentful in my videos, but I do wish him, I wish him well. And all things being equal, my life had turned out the way that I wanted it to, I'd be engaged and I'd be a homeowner at his age. But I guess life doesn't always work out the way we want it to. Anyway, I hope he'll have a good laugh when he sees what I've come dressed as. Give me one sec. Here's a paintbrush, and here's the face paint that I got. There's this costumery and I don't know what the correct term is for the kind of shop. It's one of those disguise shops that you can go in and get generic Halloween costumes, and that's where I got these from. And here is the grey prison issue tracksuit that I ordered from ASOS. It was pretty cheap. It was suspiciously cheap. It was only £15, and I should have noticed that. I should have noticed back then. It was a bit too cheap. It was cheap in the sense that I thought I was getting a pair of tracksuit bottoms as well, but I guess I wasn't. You know, I guess the moral of the story is you've got to look a bit more carefully at what you're buying. Whatever the big print giveth, the small print taketh away, so they say. I'm probably going to make another video about why I don't have a lot of friends later on, but that will probably be maybe next week, once I've enjoyed the party, once I've made my way back home and my life's back on hold. Oh yeah, and I didn't talk about this earlier, but it was incredibly stressful preparing for this weekend because, as I've said, going to parties, it's not something that regularly happens in my life, so it involves me being out of my comfort zone in terms of planning and preparing, driving all the way up. I got to go up to Ipswich for this, because that's where the guy lives. It's miles and miles away from where I'm based. Over 100 miles, so that's probably going to add fuel costs to the bill, that's for sure. Then the matter with the tracksuit, which I'm probably only going to wear that once, but it just feels so right to go to a fancy dress party and go through the effort of buying an actual outfit. I put a lot of thought and effort into what I could go to the party dressed up as. I was initially thinking of just getting a Donald Trump mask and wearing my blue suit, but I thought that would be too generic, and I wanted to challenge myself. I wanted to go as something that I felt would be really relevant and pertinent given what's been happening in the news cycle recently. And part of me was thinking I should go as Axel Ruda Cabana, which would definitely be an interesting choice for Halloween. The problem is, though, I decided to call that idea off because I know that the guy I'm seeing, the guy whose party I'm attending, and his friends, some of them are married and fathers of small children, and I'm not sure how they'd react. Also, they're all white nationalists, so it's weird now I think about it. I thought the idea of going as a child murderer was a bit much, so instead I'm going as a foreign rapist criminal who went after young schoolgirls. But I thought this would be okay. I thought this would be more suitable and more appropriate, given that, first of all, the guy never killed anyone, and because of how he's been in the news. You know, because of the coincidental timing of events that have been going on around Halloween and the fancy dress party. I'm thinking my logic is people will see me, blacked up, wearing that prison-issue dress and think, hey! Oh well. Well, I guess we'll see. If anyone recognizes me, I'll tell you about it later. Anyway, see you guys later. I'll let you know how it goes later. This is Tracking. Take care, everyone.